I've got a question tying together a lot of the last part. So we've spoken already about the communication with the girl. So Owen last night takes his date to the club. There's a lot of people there, and all of a sudden it's not about how can I get in with her, but how can I have this connection but open up the energy and share it with everyone around and include everybody in the celebration. That's one, changes the game, I think, for a lot of men to consider that.
Yes.
And then you're talking about the sub-communication, which is, well, actually, we want our energy to be open and shared with everyone around, but then we've got a private exchange, which we don't want anyone to hear whatsoever.
Yes. That's a good distinction, because using Owen as our example again, when I said, listen, come talk to us for a second and give her a little bit of a break, there was no abandonment of her. He wasn't abandoning her. He was coming over here and engaging his friends. She's there. But this connection never breaks. It's strengthened because he is strong enough, confident enough, alive enough that he can not cling on to her. And hey, my buddies are talking to her, and guys, this is my girl. He doesn't have that kind of energy. Instead, he's like, this is not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And like, and when you were engaging us, and you go back to her and smile at her and wink at her like this, and then you continue to talk to us like this, she's reaching for your hand. She's like, hey, she reached for your hand, and the great thing you did, it's fantastic. You held her. She took your hand like this, and you stayed talking to Rich and me, and you're just like, yeah, blah, blah. This is the position you want to be when you with women all the time. Talking to friends over here, and I got you, baby. I'm here. Instead of like, guys, you know, like this cloistered energy.
There's a little conspiracy in that too.
It's huge. You could be like not even touching her or whatever and talking to these guys here, but this is a laser. This is a rope between you two that's not going to break.
Yeah.
All the guys can come in and try and pick her up, do all kinds. It doesn't matter. You're talking to her, and you give her a wink like this because you're still there. There's still your girl. Here I am over here. That's powerful.
So I think we've got another paradox for your list.
Which is, there's a few now.
Learn all of this. There's a way on the one. So most guys are with their girlfriends. They go to a bar and it's like fairly heavy, like this. You're saying on the one hand, expand all the energy in this direction and share more celebration with everybody there. Hold a hand, but address your friends and bring everybody into this group. So expand more in this direction. And at the same time, when you're actually you've got some of those more rare moments of connection one-on-one with your girl, actually make it stronger and say more daring and more bold things than you would if you're in the normal.
Of course, now you can be strong. Now you can be like talking to your buddies over here, or that's metaphor, right? And she's here, and you can go in and say something strong to her. You look fantastic, baby. I don't know what it is. Come back here.
And you can say something stronger to her because you've got enough space and time to do other things.
Yeah. That is not going anywhere. You see that? If you glommed onto her and she couldn't enjoy the company of the others because you're like protective and making sure that that energy doesn't escape because you want to just like make sure that she likes you. And I'm going to be interesting and let me tell you a joke here between you and me, blah, 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 blah. Right? She's feeling contained and she wants to expand too. And when you, but this is not going anywhere. This is the great thing. This is your little secret. This is your secret garden. This is your conspiracy with you and your girl. That's not going anywhere. You can mess it up if you sit there and clomp onto her. But if you let her, give her that space, you don't have to touch it because this is not going anywhere. That connection is there and it's unbreakable.
Well, I just want to ask a question. I think we've got the answer, but the man's fear would be, oh, what if she does go somewhere? What if that connection breaks? I'm like, I'm not in tunnel vision mode with my girl. I'm sharing myself with the friends. But what if actually she goes to the toilet? What about if there's some other seducer?
She doesn't come back.
What if she doesn't come back?
She's not your girl.
It's pretty simple, man.
Yeah.
Not your girl. You're climbing an uphill mountain.
And that's the never chase.
Yeah.
I've got complete faith that this is unbreakable and she's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But in the case that she does.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got a story of this. This is a few years ago. Yeah, there was a girl I really liked at the time. Really beautiful, sweet girl. And I was with my two friends. And I was just walking down the stairs and she saw me. She's like, hey, Rich, come dance. And usually I'd be like, yes, let's go dancing. For some reason I was there. I think I was still in my game playing life. So I was trying to play it cool a bit. And I was like, yeah, maybe come dance later. I'm going to spend some time with my friends. I'll see you later. And then as soon as I walked away, my friends said, oh, what were you doing? Like, she was interested. I'm like, I know. And I saw her again about 10 minutes later, and she actually saw me across the dance floor and being cheesy. She was trying to reel me in, doing the fishing moves.
Yeah.
And so I'd left her, and so many men, I'm sure, between then had tried to, talk to her. But by having that kind of strength to move away, have fun, knowing that was still there, the attraction just went up like 2-3 times straight away.
That's the tension you talk about.
Mm.
You're building that tension. This is a tension, Owen.
Mm.
When you're being strong to your girl, kissing her hand, and letting her fly, and letting your buddies get in there and talk to her, right? And you're over here talking to us. There's a beautiful tension being created there.
Mm.
Beautiful. So the tension is not just, oh, let's sit face to face and eye gazing and open up the second chakra and let it all fly. The tension is, oh, when you go to the toilet or when you're talking to your buddy. And
yeah, because when we arrived, it was like more of her like looking for like something else to engage, right?
Mm.
And when he was doing this, and he was like, had this open energy and had this conspiracy with her, she was reaching for him the rest of the evening. You saw that, right?
Yes.
She was grabbing his hand and like, and pulling him in and saying something into his ear, and he's like, "That's beautiful." She's a willing participant then, instead of like, I'm on a date with this guy and now or contained.
is there any element of getting her to chase you in any of this?
No, I don't think so. That's not playing hard to get.
Yeah.
Because you're not hard to get. You're still connecting with winking at her and holding her hand or holding her metaphorically.
Mm.
You're not playing hard to get at all. She knows, she can feel that you're still there with her, even though you're like, hey guys, let me tell you another story that's cool. And you like this one too. You see?
Mm. It feels to me a bit like TV series or sport, and that a good TV series, think like Game of Thrones, always ends on a cliffhanger. I just want to know more. If Game of Thrones was just like 10 hours straight, if everyone watches this like 60 hours in a row, whatever it is, you lose that tension. And it's the same with watching a football match. Sometimes you watch, the excitement comes by not knowing what's coming next. When you're watching the highlights, you know the score. Yeah, you see the goals and it's fun, but you don't get that same anticipation.
The best football matches are when there were goals scored and another one scored.
Yes.
Lots of times, right? That's the most interesting thing. So by doing by going and doing that, you make everybody interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like just like your girl who's playing coy.
Yeah.
It is. We do know that there are some psychological things that make a difference in seduction.
Yeah.
And we use them because it amps up the tension and the fun for everybody, but it's never let's use these psychological principles covertly and not let the other person know.
There's no attempt to be aloof or hard to get, or I'm going to make her chase me now and I'm not going to respond to her and she's going to have to get my attention. That's a game.
Yeah.
This is, the great word is anticipation.
Mm.
You're creating anticipation in her and in you, which is kind of cool because I'm going to go back to my girl now.
Do you ever come close to a fine line where it's like almost grey territory between anticipation and playing the game? Like,
No. And I played the game for years, so I know the difference.
Yeah.
I know that trying to be like, okay, I don't want to be needy, so I have to act like I've got lots of options, and so which is an abandonment of the connection that's happening there. To try and be more cool, so that she has to chase me down, and that can work in a psychological way because if she was abandoned by her father or something like that, it might trigger something in her that she's like, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I think you said it best. Everybody's got something to put it.
Yeah.
But I think you said it best, and we said it off camera. But it was kind of the whole thing for her was, I want some of that too. That whole. Well, give me some of your energy.
I want to be caught up in something too.
Yeah.
Can you say something about how do you know if that slips into game territory or if it's safe in enjoying anticipation territory?
Well, I think it depends what your intention is of like turning your back. It's so powerful in me to give the girl the space to let her know that I do it a lot. So if I'm talking to a couple girls here, I never hang around. I'm never a hang around guy. I'll say, hey, hello, what's your name? Hello, you're cute, you're cute, I like it. And I turn my back to Rich and Owen over here. I turn my back, not this, turning and looking over my shoulder like this. You know what I'm saying? I turn my back and give them space. I can always go back 8 seconds later. Oh, guys, wait, I'm gonna talk to these girls again. Hello again, did you miss me? Bang, back in. But I turn my back so they have the sense of the non-invasion, I guess, the sense of like, I'm not going to hang around and ask them about their.
Yeah.
These are girls you just met. You know? I've been saying, but I don't know if this is the time to talk about it. I don't know where this is in the book.
Yeah.
This concept that
Swerving by, is it?
I'm going to talk a bit about rapport,
Right.
which is the big thing we want to do with a girl you just met is get into rapport, get her sitting on a couch and get in rapport with her. That doesn't interest me at all.
And that I now use the term, you've got it in here, civilised conversation. It's a term I use for it now. Oh, what do you want to tell?
You can only mess things up by talking to her more. You can't make it better. You can't amplify the attraction by what you're going to tell her next. Doesn't happen. She likes you. She feels the surge of that. She likes the way you look, the way you smell, the way you're standing, the way you're smiling, winking at her. She likes that already. There's an attraction quotient in there. You can mess it up by sitting there blah, blah, blah in her ear and pinning her down. Yes. Blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you else something about me and now tell me something about you. It's too much. You know? A girl you just met, I don't do any kind of rapport at all. The only thing I'm saying, and for years I didn't know what I was saying because guys said, well, you just talked to that girl for 10 minutes. She was smiling and laughing. What did you say? And I'm like, I don't know what I said. And it's only recently that I realized what I'm saying to that girl that I talked to for 10 minutes is I just repeat the same thing over and over and over again in different ways. Are you my girl? Because you sure look like it. What's your name again? Come here. We're going to have a party there. Just come. Same thing over and over and over and over again. Are you my girl? Are you my girl? Are you my girl? That's what I'm saying to her. I'm not saying, so tell me about your dreams. You want to be a flight attendant. That's interesting. I don't talk about that.
So how can you just say the same thing over and over and over? It's like a contentless conversation you're having, and she stays there with you, like it flies in the face of.
I know.
It's so counterintuitive. It's not funny.
And don't forget, I'm not lasered in on her. It is so important for me to give a break to her. Like, let me give you an example. And I can see if I can describe this here. Imagine this round table was a square bar with a bartender there, and this is the corner. And I was in Montreal and had my back to the bar on this corner like this. Here was 2 older women here and 3 young Israeli girls here and a pretty bartender. And I had my back on the corner, so to my right was these 3 girls. My buddies were here, out from the bar like this. And behind my back down this way was these 2 older women. And I turned in, squeezed in there, right, to order a drink from the bar. And the blonde bartender comes up, and I'm talking to her and saying, well, you look great, and I'd like to order this. And I'm making sure that these girls hear it.
Yeah.
This is my craziness, man. So they're hearing it, and they're like stirring the drinks and like talking amongst themselves, facing each other. And these girls are sitting facing the bar. And I'm like, and she's getting a drink. I say, hello, girls. And they say, hi, we're from Israel. So I started talking to these girls with my back to these girls. I'm just thinking the reason I have this example because my buddies described what I did.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, really? Okay. Because I would not remember it at all. And I'm talking to these girls, blah, 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 blah. And the bartender comes back, and then I see them, and they're glancing over. So my back's now against these girls. I'm telling about you. Hello. And I'm here. And then I turn my back completely from all these crowd, have my drink, back to my friends. Now, everyone is behind me. I'm still leaning against the bar. But 30 seconds later, 8 seconds later, I'm talking to my friends here. I come back in here like this and talk to these girls again. And I can go talk to these ones again. I'm not hang around guy. I'm not invasive. And when I'm talking to them, they have my full attention. Full attention, hello. And then my back is to them and I'm talking to these. It's not a technique, it's just my natural way of I don't know what it is.
So going back to the dynamic of the bar or this rhythm, this age-old rhythm between men and women, it's like a lot of guys are thinking, I need to have enough one-on-one time with a girl. You're my girl today. I need to have enough
my girl?
Play quote. I need to have enough one-on-one time with my girl so that we can have the conversation and so on. So guy could be thinking, well, how do I isolate a girl and really get to know any of these girls? And I imagine what happens when you go back to your friends, 6 women have now had a taste of you.
Yes.
And if 1 or 2 of them are really interested, then something else will happen, but she'll have to make that step. It's not that you're going to come in and try and get these out of the way and bring this one over here and put her on a chair for 30 minutes.
No.
She's going to have to do something to make it easy for you to re-enter and have more depth, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like, it's like, because I'm coming back. I'm not abandoning these girls. I'm coming back, and they can feel it, right? I'm coming back, say hello, girl. Hello.
And in that, the friends are more likely to become accomplices.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, depends what, depends what, I can't remember that situation.
But you're being friendly to everyone, you're inclusive to everyone, so they're not going to say, well, you can't date this girl because she doesn't like you, because she likes you, whatever. No, they're not going to isolate, stop her friends from getting together.
That one, trying to get one-on-one time with a girl, like, and that's your goal, like, that to me is like, that's no fun. Her friends are going to be left out.
Yeah.
You know? And it's and think of it like this. The girl might be having fun with her girlfriends, Israeli girls, for instance. They're clinking drinks and having fun, and they wear short skirts. They want to be seen. They want to be. They're in Montreal. They're visiting, and they want that kind of like fun energy. They came out to have fun. They didn't stay home to watch TV. And you come along, and now you isolate one of the herd, and you're glom, boom, 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 and peppering her with questions. She wanted to have a little bit of fun, spirited fun that night, and now you're all profound and deep on her, and it downshifts her energy, and she's like, and she starts to think about, okay, well, what do I want? As opposed to, I just want to have fun, and you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like guys going on a date, and then go on a second date with a girl, and they're all fun and friendly and joking and telling jokes and ordering wine and having ice cream and stuff like that. And then the third date or so kind of ends up at somebody's house because we're going to watch a movie, right? And or whatever. So now they're in an intimate space. She wants to get more physical, more intimate. But we've been this bright and shiny friend for the last 2 dates, and now we have to learn how to escalate. Right? We have to shift into, and so we think the time is right, so we put the light just right, we start the movie, and now we look at her with bedroom eyes. In other words, we downshift from this fun guy eating ice cream.
It's a conspiracy.
I'll get you yet. You'll be mine. So we downshift from this fun ice cream eating guy who's like talking about the movies he likes the most, right? And blah blah blah. And I was in Bali for a while, to now being a lover boy, going in for a kiss, right? And here's what happens in her. She likes you because she went on dates with you, and she was having a fun, spirited energy with you. But now you're turning into this profound, deep connecting, eye-gazing lover boy. And what happens in her is, am I ready for this? I just broke up with my boyfriend 3 months ago, and am I over that? And this is going to be it. Now I realize it's going to be a deep and meaningful thing with this guy, and so they go like this and stiffen a little bit, and we go, and we think, what happened here? She got distant, and she's just trying to check in with herself. Am I ready for this right now? Am I ready for another boyfriend, for instance, right now? Right? And if you would have kept it fun and light, and come sit by me, come here, give me a kiss here, and kiss her neck, kiss her hand, and start out like that with the same energy you met her with. And here's the movie, and then give me a kiss here, and kept that same fun energy, it allows her to not have to get into this deep introspective mode about her future with you, which could still happen. You could still end up being her boyfriend, but you're not getting her like, "Whew, this is a strong energy all of a sudden and overwhelming me, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for it, and I really like him." If you kept it that spirited fun, like, "Come sit by me, come sit here, come," and you're touching her knee with your knee and this kind of stuff, and you're in here like this, and you're going like this. "Come here, let me tell you a secret," and you give her a kiss. Changes the whole thing.
Easy for both.
Easy for both. She can relax and have fun and know that you're not going to turn into this, but she might want this. She might want a long-term relationship with a great guy, and she might want it with you. But now she doesn't have to set it up like, "I have to make sure I do this right."
Right.
I don't want to I don't want to jump into bed with them right away because I want this to be really meaningful.
Yes.
You see? Which is a valid thing. But you're giving that, but you could be meaningful with her. Anyway.
There's a topic that I feel has surfaced 2 or 3 times that I'd really like to go into in a big way, and that's chasing.
Yeah.
And you say you never chase women, and yet Hans, very good friend of ours, is saying, and you look at some films, Come On, with Javier Bardem is the greatest example of this. He's this masculine force of nature, and he singles out this one woman. Actually, he has to do it because that's his assignment, but he ends up really feeling it as well. Singles out this one woman, and the whole attitude is closing in on her. It's got to be you. And Hans used the metaphor of a leopard closing in on an antelope and killing the antelope and setting its spirit free. So there's an enormous thing, archetypal, mythological element to seduction of man and his prey, his woman as prey, that's seen and celebrated and commented on around the world. But you say that you never chase a woman.
Yeah, and there's different archetypes for sure. I'm a different archetype than Hans, as you know. But I would say this, Hans doesn't chase either. He approaches a lot of girls. He's like, "Hey," but he doesn't chase. He's not chasing the girl down and trying to make something land. What I mean by chase is not trying to convince.
Right.
I will never try and convince a girl that I'm a prize or I'm the great catch. If she doesn't feel it here, they can feel that. I'm not going to do a lot of fast talking so that she all of a sudden looks at me and says, "Oh, maybe I do like this guy all of a sudden." That doesn't work. She likes you or she doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all of everything, all this fast talking, all this kind of stuff, that's trying to convince her. Which is chasing. By me chasing is trying to convince. Hans is not trying to convince. He might be like running down the street because he saw a pretty girl walk by and he's booking it. "Hello, hi, I have to come say hi." That's not chasing. You see the distinction?
Well, it is in a physical sense.
But he's not trying to convince.
What about, because so there's the convincing, the fast talking, wheeling on the corner of the bar for hours trying to bring a girl home that night.
Right.
But then there's also chasing, which is you meet someone, energy's nice, she's playing it a bit coy, and then you feel inspired to do a grand gesture. And we've got Mexican friends, Colombian friends that do the thing of, I'm going to turn up to her workplace unannounced with a dozen red roses, not with a needy energy, with an energy of, "Hey, I'm this romantic guy and I love women. I'm kind of unattached, but I'm making a masculine move on you."
But it doesn't sound, even that doesn't feel like an attempt to convince.
Yeah.
That's an attempt to amplify what the guy feels. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm wrong on this, but it seems like it. Like, and maybe there's a volume of women out there that want to be completely distant and aloof, and I'm not interested. And you can change their mind by all your efforts. But that's too much work for me. I'm lazy. You guys know how lazy I am.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I don't like run down the street and chase a girl. The girl went by. I would like to talk to her. There'll be another one come along. I'm too lazy to run down the street and trot along behind her.
So it's a personal preference, a personal way of seduction.
Yeah, Hans will go and chase down the antelope. I'll stand in the space, talk with you guys, and everything. I'm approaching constantly, believe it or not, even though if I'm just standing in place. My approach is with my eyes and with my demeanor and with my body language. So I'm constantly checking in with all the women around. I might be talking to you, we might have a conversation about whatever it is, about science or something. Science, and I'm always, without disengaging from you, I'm always letting the women that happen to walk by or in the proximity that I'm here, and I see you.
I'm trying to get in my head the concept because I'm seeing both. Chasing is obviously a bad thing. Chasing, it seems, when there isn't an energy between, there isn't a connect, and you're trying to make it happen with words, convincing.
Yes.
We all know that's bad, but there's another type, I don't know what we call it, pursuing, that doesn't seem the right word either, when there is a small seeded connection, but that may take time. And think about girls I've known in my life, and I think you do it as well. Sometimes you'll seemingly send an invitation out, be rejected, but it's the dance. It's like, let's meet at 7:30, I can't, or let's make it 8 then. It's that spirit, but that's not a chasing. No. And that may take, I'm thinking a particular girl, I know we met 5 years ago, and then we happened to meet 3 months ago in Chance, the beach of Thailand, and then we've both been travelling. And you could call it chasing, but it's not, because we both recognise the energy there, but still because of logistics, there's a pursuing, there's a losing a spark, regaining a spark, and we both know it's going to happen, but I wouldn't call that chasing. No. There's another word for it. But
it's not convincing.
It's a difference.
It's not convincing, it's really just announcing and calling forth what is there, so that it can blossom, because it does get stronger. It's not like she's gonna be completely madly in love with you right off the jump, but you can talk about what that you said, that little spark is there still in that conversation, and it might be small, but you can. It's like the embers, you can blow on them. You know, you can blow on that spark, and if you blow on it actively. Not just trying to say, okay, come on, girls, fall in love with me. I'm being cool here.
Yeah.
Right? I feel a little spark there, so now do your work. No, do your work. You know, convince me. Right? You got to still blow on the spark and blow and not blow hard.
Yeah.
You blow hard, you put it out. Where the sparks go off.
Try too hard. Yeah.
From my building fire days, got to be very gentle. And it slowly starts to come alive. And you're doing that with that spark that's there, with your actions, with going to your work and putting the flowers there. That's blowing on the embers and making them until it surges.
I'm thinking one of the famous romantic comedies is When Harry Met Sally. Yeah. And that whole film, there's always been this unspoken spark, and they're pretending to not like each other. It takes however many years before they finally get together. Yeah. But that was never him or her chasing. It was like you said, it's there's a spark there, but it was blowing, letting it go, almost like a conspiracy energy.
There's a great trusting in, like, I don't know, there's a trust in something. That's why when a girl, I'll say this, when a girl went running past to the toilet last night, and when running back, I've got a girlfriend, but still I know, I know what's going on. Yeah. I miss nothing. I see every girl in the place, right? And she was running back. What I'm essentially transmitting to her is, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, and I know you get it too. So there's nothing hidden in that. There's nothing hidden in that at all. It's like I'm just calling forth what I see. If there's that little spark, I call it forth.
I really like what you're getting at with the chase, because it's like if there's just no connection, like felt connection in the body, and the guy goes chasing after her, then it's needy and chasing and all the convincing and all the bad sense of the word, right?
Yeah.
But when there is something there and you both know that it's there, chasing all of a sudden is, well, is it just a feature of the rhythm between you or me that, like, you're going to do this, and the inspiration of me is that I have to do this, and
and I'll play my part in this dance. Not this game. It's a dance instead of a game. Like, the game is like, I'm going to not call you for 3 days so that you think that I've got some other girls or something. That's a game.
Yeah.
That's different than the dance.
So
it's a beautiful thing.
The game starts entering into paranoia, like, like all the negative thoughts about like insecurity and how it's got to be a certain way for it to happen. But the game is like, it's making me work hard again, you know.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing, I think. But it's a feature of that connection. And that's why I asked you the question earlier, like, how do you know when actually you're playing with anticipation in a joyful way versus how do you know when you're stepping into game territory and actually it's going to create more paranoia than romance?
Yeah, and I know because of experience. So how does some other guy know? Is the real question, right? How can a guy know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. And I, like everything else, I think that these kind of awarenesses start to grow on you. You start to realize, for instance, that there's subcommunication. I've met an untold amount of guys that have no clue, never heard of the thing about subcommunication or that women are putting out signals into the world. They have no clue.
I've heard the term signals for years, but I still never knew what they meant.
Yeah. And you slowly you start to get to by like you said it perfectly, Jordan. When I said that in Brazil, that there's a lull in the conversation, you started to look for a moment like that.
Yeah.
It took you a year, but you had that wisdom in your body, not academically in your head. You didn't read it from a book. It's just something I told you because it's a feeling. It's a feeling. I can't describe it. I wrote 400 pages trying to describe a feeling, trying to describe a way of being.
But once you see it, once
you feel it, once you see it, you recognize it because you have been described it. It's been described to you.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of my background's marketing, and marketing is a bit like game in some ways, as you learn all these different techniques to essentially make someone want a product. And it's an interesting shift because marketing for the most 40 years has been, if you like, a bit of game playing. In the last 10 years, all about like relationship marketing, loyalty, authenticity. Even things that do marketing, like you're taught, for example, if you're selling out the must-have Christmas toy, they deliberately limit the supplies.
Yes.
So people want it more. Or they'll make the price higher because people think, oh, it's a higher price, it must be worth more, even though we all well know it's probably cost the same as another one. But all they're doing really is imitating the real thing. Like if a product's really actually good, it's good quality, it's going to cost more because it costs more to make, and there's going to be less supply because everyone wants it. So it's kind of like seduction. The dance is the authentic thing.
Yeah.
And you do have, you might, even detecting the whole game thing, you might take a few days to call because you're both leading busy lives and there's a space and there's an anticipation, which is a natural good thing. But the game is just making you do it artificially.
Artificially,
It's
scarcity.
Yes, artificial.
So these new companies that are very ecological and have family values again, and they want to connect from the heart with their clients, and they're all very open and vulnerable. Do they do a little bit of gamesmanship in their marketing too?
It'd have to depend on the company, but if you talk about the kind of the cool, people saying the cool companies, talk about the Virgins of this world, companies like Innocent Smoothies people have. Actually, one good example is Ben & Jerry's, because they were sneaky. Haagen-Dazs in the day was this big company that everyone loved, the big ice cream. And Ben & Jerry's, this small, basically these two fat kids. And the whole story is they dropped out of college because they got bored. And they had two loves in life, which was bagels and ice cream. And they realised there was already good bagel business. They said, well, let's do ice cream then. And they had this whole authenticity because they like big chocolate. They did everything that wasn't supposed to be done in ice cream.
Stuff that they made at home in the kitchen, right, when they were stoned at midnight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that was the authenticity behind it, because they didn't sit there in scientific testing and do all these things and find out. It came from that love. And another one's good, Innocent Stories. They're all smart guys, and they created these products, these smoothies. And at the end of it, they had a yes bin and a no bin, saying, should we quit our jobs or not? There's a yes bin and a no bin. And they got more on the yes than the no. And that's the things people like. Wow. It's the spirit, it's the fun. And of course, other companies see that fun and they try and be more, we're going to be more transparent now, we're going to do equal, we're going to do charitable things.
We're going to put fun on the company policy this year and fax it to
exactly.
our employees.
Oh, they do that. We're going to create our company mission statement. Whereas the real companies, they have a mission because they want to do something fun in front of the world. And they always go, we must do our mission statement artificial.
Oh, wow.
It's the same thing.
That is interesting. And you said it. You said like there's artificial scarcity, which is, and then there's real scarcity because everybody wants it. Because it's so excellent.
Yes.
Everybody wants it.
Yeah.
What a big difference.
But if you are that man, that is a real scarcity anyway.
That's what it is. Everybody wants it. So because everybody wants to be caught up in that.
So there's absolutely no point playing artificial scarcity when it comes to women or being in the bar or who you are as a man.
Yeah.
Actually, we're talking about a lifelong spiritual journey to become the kind of excellent, elegant man that women always love. So you're always scarce in a sense.
Which I said in the very beginning of the book. what truly beautiful women, the ones who are seekers too, are looking for in a man is someone who's caught up in something that's larger than himself, right? And so they want to be caught up too. There's an excellence in him that he's seeking in his art or whatever it is. That excellence, he's seeking for that. He wants to know, and women can feel that. There's the quality in this man, as opposed to just a guy who's going to be going through the motions of life.
It's like when I met this woman last night. I came straight after the shoot here, so I was a few minutes late, and I came out of the metro, and I'm like,
you've been running out of here,
sweaty, and wow, I'm 15 minutes late. I've been filming all day, and as you can see, I'm wearing more makeup than you. So like, there's a massive authenticity, and I could tell that I was late, and it allowed her nerves to go up a little bit, and there was some anticipation with her, and it wasn't too late that she got worried or upset, but I could feel that she was more excited to see me than if I'd come on time. It's like that had built up. And you know, like, I've turned up a little bit late to be fashionably late other times in my life, and it's like, come in all cool. Hey, yeah, I was like, excuse. I can't even think of one, but and it's not got that energy or that flow or that passion to it.
Yeah. Wow, what a difference. That's cool.
And I think with some, hot women, often 18, 25, I think a lot of people can get away with the games because they don't see through it.
Well, yeah.
Any evolved, beautiful women, if a guy tries to play the game, we'll just be like, okay, here we go again.
In marketing, it works too. Artificial scarcity.
Yeah.
The people that are not thinking very deeply about things. Is that, I want that. I want that. Buy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it works on a certain level, but it doesn't work on the level of what we're talking about here, which is a man who's being adored by women.
I think of a wine. I'm not really a wine
By
connoisseur.
beautiful women.
By beautiful women. I think of like a wine connoisseur. Lots of people that don't know wine will go to a menu and just order the most expensive one because they think that's the best.
Yeah.
Whereas often the people that know wine say it's often like the second cheapest one. It's one of the cheaper wine because they know it. They go, oh, they're just putting that price high because they want to make it. It's the same if someone tries to market to me because I see through it. I'm almost go, yeah, I know the book you've read. Yeah, I did that same course.
Oh, wow, that's
I know
cool.
what you're doing. Every time I watch an advert, I'm going, oh, God, here we go again.
3 landing pages.
Yeah, I get it. It's the same thing, I guess. Women see through it a lot faster than men do.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you say about young women and young men that are into this gameplay, and I think it takes a few years to build up that
That's
catalogue.
true.
And that, oh, so this is anticipation, but this is a bit paranoid and game playing.
Yeah.
I've got to like notice if, it feels a bit off in here, that's a red flag, I don't want to go any further down that one. But I think it takes a library of, at least in my case, it's taken a library of some weird and wonderful and terrible experiences. And nights of no sleep and not being able to eat for 3 days because a woman's been playing my heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah, I think you have to experience it to know to know what it is.
That's the taking the boat out into high seas in the land of women and throwing yourself up against the
And
rocks.
we've all experienced it. We've all seen the giant waves, the capsizing effect. Right? We've all felt that, like of a woman playing games with your heart, and you're trying to play games too, and you're outmatched.
Yes.
Basically,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
We know. We're like, what do I do next? We know that feeling.
All right, here's an interesting one. Again, it's marketing, but has a lot of relationship here. There's a very famous experiment where they blindfold people and they give them a cup of Coke and a cup of Pepsi.
Yep.
And something about 78% of people blindfolded will choose Pepsi. And they do it again, they have the Coke brand and the Pepsi brand, and most people choose Coke. And they did like some MRI
Where they can
scanning.
see it.
Yeah, and there's actually part of their brain where the psychology changed. And same marketing, the best quality product is very rarely the most popular one. So you can talk about the analogy here, a man can have all his stuff together, be a great guy, but if he doesn't have that marketing or the way to communicate, and there are guys that are very weak guys, are superficial, but because they communicate, they brand themselves better.
Oh wow! Yeah.
They do
On the
better.
surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
And another one is a story is a very famous violinist, so famous I've forgotten his name. But the day before, he'd filled out some big hall in New York, standing ovation, and the next day he changed his clothes and went to a subway in New York, played for 2 hours, and only one person stopped to recognise him. And he was still that incredible, amazing, world famous musician, but people walked past because of the way he was presented, and they didn't expect that situation.
Yeah.
So there is something to
Packaging too, right?
It's not just about being an amazing, deep, authentic guy. You've got to communicate it, and that's why the way of the natural is just as important as the way of beauty and
you
seduction.
still gotta present. You still gotta
Put that sock down your pants.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
You still gotta show up.
You still got to show up.
You still show up. Yeah.
That's the thing, like you've said for years, reporters or women ask what kind of man comes to your workshop, and you're like, well, men you'd never expect. Actually, the men that come into this, great guys, so much to share, good hearts, genuinely love
Well-dressed.
women.
Yeah.
How do they not have women in their lives,
Yeah.
or as the kind of women that they want in their lives? And I think most times, like there's some inner stuff, you know, that gets worked on through this journey.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it's just a few tweaks here and there, and the guy can be flying. There's already 10, 100, 1,000 women in his town or his city that night that want to be with him, spend time with him, but he doesn't see them somehow because he's just not tuned into the right
It's just a
language.
little bit of tweaking.
Tweaking, yeah.
Most guys have a lot of information.
Yeah.
Most guys have taken a lot of programs or, read, all kinds of books on body language, on whatever, and they just need to be tweaked. And when it comes to the actual radiance of their energy, for instance, you leaning forward and like checking in like this, and I had you to lean back like this and expand.
Still
It
checking
changed
in.
the whole thing, and the girl's like, no.
Still checking in, but from
Yeah.
this sort of
That was just a micro calibration.
nothing. Yeah.
You've read my book. You've known me for years.
Yeah.
We've walked and talked a lot on various beaches of the world, you and I, right? And so it's like it's not like you don't have the knowledge here. You could finish my sentences. You've seen me speak, right? So it isn't that. It's just in the moment, that micro calibration. Just do this little tiny shift here. You'll feel the change. She'll feel the change. Why it works, I have no idea. But it works. It's strong, and I'm not wrong about it. I can tell. This is what
She using Norman as the benchmark. Yeah, it works.
Also, not only that, but I don't think we've seen Owen like bend over the table like this either this morning.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's permanently adjusted.
It's like, and this is how I am now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's taking break.
Yeah. Like conspiracy of knowing is like, yeah, it's fine.